Last week, I told you about becoming a foreman, the choice between exploiting your crew or building them up. Today, I'm going to tell you about the shutdown. I worked shutdowns from New Hampshire to Oregon to Kentucky. I made money that changed my life, and I paid for it in pieces of my life that I can't get back. This is episode 8, the shutdown. So one of the things I should have did in the last couple of recordings, one of the bad saying is one of the greatest things you can do when you're traveling is to enter the introduction and building a network. So what I mean is one of the greatest gifts I learned in the trade was the power of my handshake and meeting brothers and keeping in touch with brothers. So on the job, you make connection with all kind of people. Some of the brothers you work with, some of them you don't even work with. Some you just pass by in the hallway. But some kind of way your vibe might connect and y'all become friends. And then the biggest thing I learned is to trade phone numbers. And when I trade phone numbers, after the job ends, I keep in touch. So every once in a while, I just pick up the phone and call the brother. And all you got to do is say, hey, bro, I'm calling. I didn't want nothing. I'm just checking on you. You know what I mean? How everything going? And you take the time and listen. If you're going through something, you try to help out. Sometimes you need to be an ear to listen. Sometimes you need to solve a problem. Sometimes the brother just need a hug. But that help you get to the next job. So let's get into the shutdowns. So I was in New Jersey. It was around Christmas time. And I was out shopping with my girlfriend, my kid's mom. We just had my my oldest son. He was probably about 2. So the brother Earl, he was out of local 102, New Jersey local, Earl Brown. He gave me a call. He was like, hey, Gator, they got a job going on out of Chesterfield, Chester, Ohio, Chester, PA local. They got a call down in New Hampshire, and they need an electrician to go with the lineman. So he said he gave me the number to call the guy. So I called the lineman local, and they told me if I get to Chester, PA by 5 o'clock, I can go with them to this New Hampshire job. So I had to tell my girlfriend at the time, hey, you got to put that stuff down. I got to go. I got to find where Chester, PA at. So at the time, this is way before Google Maps, way all that. We had to use MapQuest. So I had to go get a printout on the direction. So a hotel to Chester, PA. And I really made it, like say 4:45. Made it in the parking lot. Brother Earl was there waiting just like he said he was going to be. So anyway, we walked in the office and they told people name and they told us we had to load up and get in the truck and we had to go to the Bronx, New York. So they put us in these big dually trucks and took a whole bunch of us up to Bronx, New York. And once we got to Bronx, New York, we had to get in the bucket trucks with these linemen. And then we had to drive these bucket trucks up to New Hampshire. And to not New Hampshire, to Vermont at the time. So when we get to Vermont, it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Now they had rooms for us, so we got the rooms, but the dude made the announcement, everybody need to be in the lobby by 5 o'clock. So a lot of them brothers start complaining, oh man, we ain't getting no rest. I ain't gonna come, da da da. I made sure I was on time down in that lobby. So the reason why on that shutdown right there, it was a ice storm job. The power went out in New Hampshire. So we loaded up into the bucket trucks and we had to go into New Hampshire and restore the power. We was making $89 an hour and they was paying us 18 hours a day. I think my check was around 10 grand a week up there doing that ice storm. And then on that job, man, it was crazy at first. Seeing all those people, houses, and the ice everywhere, trees broken, the power line down. But we got them people power back up. And I remember Brother Earl them and his lineman, they ended up getting this lady power back on. And the lineman that was with Earl asked the lady, has she ever been in a bucket truck? And the lady was like, no, I ain't never been. So that lineman took the time to raise that lady up in that bucket truck. Man, if you'd have seen how that lady lit up, bro, that was priceless. All right. Then another time, this is why your network needs to be strong. I was on my way to Detroit. And as I was driving up to Detroit, I was on 75 and I was in around Dayton, Ohio. I get a text, and the text, it was from my friend Sean Cosmo Collins. Cosmo is out of Sheffield, Alabama local. So anyway, the text read 6,800 a week, no license, open calls. So I called him right then and there, and he told me about a job in Oregon. And like I said, I was on my way to Detroit. And right then, I put it in, we got Google in and maps and all that. So I put it in the map, and it was 3,000 miles. Well, it didn't put 3,000 miles. It put the time in, most time your trip is in hours. This one was in days. But anyway, I ended up going out in Oregon, and I went to Washington State to get the job out of Kenwood, Washington local. I think it's 112. And the job was in Oregon, and it was on a wind farm out there in the middle of nowhere. Man, we was in the 35 miles to the closest anything. And out there, it was a issue too, but I don't even want to even tell that story. It's all good. It's in my other book. Your name is your currency. But anyway, I made a lot of money out there in Oregon. Then later on, I guess 2021 or something like that. Some of these years just blur together. But I'd get a call. I take a call out around Christmas time in Louisville, Kentucky, local at the Blue Oval battery plant. So at the time, they was offering all incentive pay, which means you got to stay a certain amount of hours a day before you get the bonus, which was all the overtime was double, and they was giving $160 a day also incentive pay on top of that. So the contractor I work for, they got smart and they said, well, we're not going to give you $160 a day. We just going to give you $10 extra on the check. So we end up making, I think, around $118 an hour. So my check, I got a picture of this check. I grossed 9,000 and just a little over 9,000 and some change. And the work wasn't even that hard, to believe it or not. And I have made a lot of money in this trade. That's one thing. And this is where I learned what shutdown money costs. But it costs sleep, sanity, and the peace of your home you can't get back. And I could really tell a whole nother story with home life. Probably will do that later. But I made enough money to change my life. But I missed a lot of birthdays, football games, a lot of fun, family moments. But the big money, the cost, it was real, So here's what I want you to need to hear. Lesson 1, shut down, separate the travelers from the company man. Company men's work their 40 hours and go home. Travelers, we work until the job is done. 70 hours, 100 hours, whatever it takes. That's the difference. Lesson 2, the money is big, but the cost is real. New Hampshire, Oregon, Kentucky. I made bank on all three, but I also miss birthdays, holidays, family moments I can't get back. The shutdown paycheck is fat, but you pay for it in pieces of your life. Lesson three: the brotherhoods forged in the shutdown last forever. The guys I work with in New Hampshire, Oregon, Kentucky, some of them are still my brothers today. Because when you survive 100 hours together, working a week together, you don't forget. Next week, I'm going to tell you about the day I almost lost everything. The mistake, the one moment, the one mistake was a flash of anger, almost cost me my car. Until then, remember this: the shutdown will test you. The question is whether you can you survive it. The, the question isn't whether you can survive it. The question is whether the money is worth what you sacrifice to get it. I'm Gator. Stay safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.